I'm Lieutenant Candidate number 75. In this scenario, I've identified the following problems. It's a serious situation that's going to require the resources and oversight the lieutenant can provide. It has the potential to create officer safety and compound to bigger issues and potentially weaken morale. My objective here is to isolate it and contain it to this specific event so that it's still within my scope of control. I want to identify the root causes, not just the mere symptoms, and together with this employee, come up with a comprehensive plan of action with mutual agreement to ultimately change the behavior and to get him to be performing at department standards and exceeding those expectations. The very first thing I want to do is on scene make sure that I identify what the issue was that he was having on the officer safety mistake, make sure that the scene is taken care of and preserved, and making sure that we tackle the scene for the calls for service. And at the conclusion of that, I will advise this officer that I would like to meet with him. I'll give him a heads up of this issue, so I don't want him to feel blindsided in this situation. I want him to know that we're going to meet in a time and place that's not associated with discipline. At this meeting, I want to start off in a positive tone, but firm, in making sure that I am upfront with these issues, and this is going to allow us to have eliminate the barriers that we have and further our interpersonal communication over this issue. I want him to know that the issue is the officer safety mistake that I observed on scene, and get his side of the story and see if he was aware of this, if he even knew about it, and making sure that I hear him out. I care about him, and I want to make sure that if there's any potential areas that we can address at this time, that we will. I also want to make sure if there's any issues in previous job performance reviews, in the body-worn cameras, any complaints of this issue, or if he has had previous training over this, I would do this at the time before this event. I also want to make sure that him and I come up with a plan of action together with mutual agreement. I know that this is more inclined for him to complete this if he has buy-in. I want to make sure that, and our now plan is that we immediately get him the training he needs and identify these issues over that. And in this training, I would want him to have officer safety refreshing through the academy. I would like him to make sure that he identifies further training that he is lacking in the areas, whether it be firearm safety, whether it's scene command presence, or it's just overall integrity of the scene and keeping it, and how he is working with the co-workers and his squad. I want to make sure that he is aware of this plan. And my later plan for him is to make sure that we pair him up with another officer of his peer that he can feel inclined to mirror his behavior with him, making sure he aligns with this plan. And I want to make sure that we have accountability in this, and we develop a two-way accountability. I want to make sure that he ensures that he completes his side, as well as I am making sure that I do everything I can to provide him the resources within the department. And if this gets into additional root causes, and if he's having additional issues outside of officer safety, I want him to know about the peer support that the department has in psychological services, and he can also use me as a resource. I want to monitor this plan on a daily basis, a weekly basis, by checking his calls for service, his original reports, his body-worn cameras. I'm going to measure this on a 90-day measure until it meets my expectations. I'm going to document this in a working file and inform my commander and of my expectations, and I'm confident in this plan of action that we will get this employee back to where he needs and meeting standards.